Hello and welcome to another episode of Don't Hurt Me, I'm Bullied. And this one, God, has been very bullied. You know the principle, I don't speak English very well because this is not my native language. And I got to defend albums that are undefendable. So, what are we going to do next? After Dream Theater's The Astonishing, we are going to a more a harder issue. Let me present you one album I always liked. I don't love it, but when I see it ranked as it is ranked in YouTube rankings and every single internet ranking, I cannot stress enough how this album has qualities that other albums before and after do not. Let me present you QUEENRSYCHE Operation Mindcrime 2. This album was released in 2006, and of course it's a sequel to the first album that was released in 1988 called Operation Mindcrime. And the first thing you got to acknowledge is that artwork-wise, they really went for it. I mean, they really did it. Maybe you'll find it cheap or whatever, but I think, you immediately see that it's an Operation Mindcrime thing. And that's, you got the yellow, you got the photos with very bad photoshopping, very bad cropping, but the first one was not bad. And you got the, red and white stripes everywhere. You got them absolutely everywhere. You got them in the inner sleeve, and you got them on the vinyl, because I have the chance to own it on vinyl. As you can see, this is, this album has been, it's not been banned, it's not been boiled alive, it's worse than that. It's been shadowed. Yet it promised things, Rock, Revenge, Redemption, the long-awaited sequel. That's the problem. The long-awaited sequel? No. No one ever wanted a sequel of Operation Mindcrime. But yet it is here. And what I'm thinking about? Well, first, if you listen, yeah, of course, yeah, you listen to the cover, you're very clever. If you look at the cover, you got Nikki here, and it's pointing at you, which means that it's an album that will cover the same social issues as the first one, but directly to you. And the first real song is called I'm American, and it's a kind of proto-rock punk song that's very weird and it's going over places, and yet it's less than 3 minutes long, and it's very Donald Trumpish. And I'm saying that against Donald Trump. It's just the way I see things. Jeff Tate, 20 years before, drew a statement about America's people that's very, very close to what we're experiencing right now. And here comes the lousy part. This album has been completely hated by a very large majority of people for reasons. The first is being, of course, trying to grab cash upon, over the first one. Well, they're not the first rock band to do so, and they're certainly not the last one. But, okay, I can understand that. I can understand the whole cash grabbing thing. It's a concept album, so you got to go with characters going forward and having their own arc. And for that, I think that did it pretty well. I'm not into lyrics, so I didn't really went, through the whole heart of it, but it didn't seem that stupid to me. So the artwork is great. The story seems good. The lyrics are quite clever. What could go wrong? The problem is that back then, QUEENRSYCHE is no more a band. And this album is widely famous for having been recorded by a band that does not exist. And still to that day, we have no evidence of who recorded what, how, and when. We don't know. We know that there's what's his name? The guitarist. It's produced by Jason Slater. And you got Michael Wilton credited, but Michael Wilton said that he didn't record a single note on this. Eddie Jackson said the same thing. It's basically, I think it's called Trey Parker. I'm not sure. I think it's Trey Parker. Maybe I'm, Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park. Maybe I don't really remember because it's not credited in it. But you had one, Parker Lundgren, who was the main guitarist, and he played bass and he programmed drums, and he did. Him and Geoff Tate are seen as the two only musicians that really perform this. You've got what's her name? Oh, I don't remember the names. It's possible. What? She's not credited. Come on. The girl who was playing Mary. Well, I don't remember if she is in the album. I'll tell you why. And you've got, of course, Ronnie James Dio, the late Ronnie James Dio, in one of his latest performances ever, who plays Dr. X. So it's a concept of, revenge and trying to make society fumble down, and it's very mindcrime-ish, and it's very Geoff Tate-ish, and musically it's been seen as a tragedy and a fraud. But here's the problem. I think that musically, the first record of this vinyl is very QUEENRSYCHE-like and really up to par with what they could provide. Maybe not with Operation Mindcrime, but that's the thing I'll tell you at the end of the video. Musically, I think that this album has great redeeming features. It's got some good melodies, and some of them are sound snippets from the first record, but they are not, just rehashing. It's subtle, like there's one song I love in this. There are 4 or 5 songs I love in this album. That's why I like it. There's one called The Hands, and in The Hands, you've got the guitar arpeggios of what's the first one? Well, I don't remember. The Mission. I don't remember, but you've got one anthemic song from the first one, which is performed half speed in the second one, and you understand it, and it's great. Plus, the chorus from this song is incredible. So, musically, there's a problem with the second part, which drags on, and I include the Ronnie James Dio as as a rock record, as a heavy rock record, it's not half bad. I'm sorry to say that. It's got a lot of great choruses, a lot. The production is very okay. It's a bit robotic, but my God. You have seen nothing with QUEENRSYCHE. And no, I will not make a video out of dedicated to chaos. Not on my watch. You've got snippets from the first one. You've got the continuation of the story for those who love lyrics, which I don't care. You've got this. You've got a mood. You've got a feeling. You've got. It's really QUEENRSYCHE. Maybe not. It's not at the same level of mindcrime, Empire, Promised Land, but I think it is on the level of, let's say, Here in the Now Frontier. I know that people will, go bonkers over what I'm saying, but I stand on a hill and I will die on that hill. It is not a bad album per se. It's been covered live with a Blu-ray that you can afford, which is mindcrime 1 and 2 performed back to back. And the first, it's a disgrace to the first album, but the second album is really well done and it's well staged, much more than the first one, because with the first one you cannot compare. You cannot. You've got Operation Life Crime, the VHS, in front of you. And boy, don't you dare. No. Forget it. Just forget it. But as a reconstitution, the first one has its moments. The intro, I won't spoil it, but the intro is very cool. And the second one is more staged with Geoff Tate performing a character going over the top with a gun and everything. And it's quite good, really. It is worth. You got to listen to this album again and then watch the second part of the Blu-ray. And trust me, you would say, they did American Soldier. But when you compare it to Q2K, when you compare it to... What's the name of this album? With Open. I don't even remember the name of an album by QUEENRSYCHE. And when you compare to Dedicated to Chaos, trust me, this is a very good album. It's not perfect. Not in any way. But its first part is really, really worth a bit of your time. And now, how can I dare defending this album? Well, it's very simple. You take the album, you forget everything about it. You listen to the first vinyl or the first 25 minutes, and you forget that it is called Operation Mindcrime 2. Trust me, you will hear it in another, under another light. It's an album that's really worth spending a bit of time. I don't say it's great, but it is certainly not worth the ranking it gets in each and every QUEENRSYCHE ranking ever. It is an album that maybe is cash grabbing, but they tried to go through it and get things out of it so that they can perform it live without, thinking, oh, that stinks. But whatever, I got cash. No, they really went for it. And the problem is that Geoff Tate is promising now a third part. And now I, defending the second one, is very, very concerned about the third one. I mean, very concerned. Geoff, I'm trying to polish and dust off your second opus. Do not mess with the third one. But I'm not sure that you will be able not to mess with it. Whatever, Operation Mindcrime 2, not great. Certainly not the shit you're thinking you're listening to, give it another try. I say another try because I'm sure that every one of you fell into the trap and listen to it back then. Come on, it's not half that bad. Just forget the album title. Think it's Empire 2. That will be better. See you another time with a better English, I hope. Wishful, sinful.